Museum of Modern Art. So on this rainy day, I'm gonna go check out the Hirshon. Haven't been in here before, so I've been to DC, been to a lot of different museums on the National Mall, but haven't been in this one. And since a lot of them are closed, or you have to now do a time reservation. So if you're coming to DC, check out the different museum websites and do your time reservation so you can sure you can get inside. But yeah, this one, no time reservation needed, 3 floors. Let's go check it out. Believe anything, forget everything. Neat. I'm not a big art buff, but what I will say is that art is just someone's perception of the world or of a moment. And so I can definitely appreciate when you think in terms of like a photo or someone's perception. That's what I think the great thing about art is. And if you can also see what the artist is seeing. Okay, I know art is supposed to be very subjective, and but I'm just thinking I could probably make this myself. I just, you know, not all art is for me to get or understand, but yeah, I think I can pick this up in like a Marshall's or a Goodwill, but I don't know. I don't see anything here noting the artist or what it's about, but yeah, I don't get this one. Of course, no visit to any art museum would be good without finding some Pablo Picassos. Now this piece is real neat because it's just near black, but you can make out the reflection of the trees and the lake and the dark sky. Pretty cool. And then this piece right here is neat because of its depth perception. It has parts of it that juts out from the painting, giving it a very unique field of depth, if you will. So yeah, a lot of nice local works. Okay, about to walk into another installation, which is the entire room. And my goodness, it's very immersive. Very immersive. Oh, it's the moon. Some paints are defined by their absence. We're going to the Jessica Diamond Wheel of Life. Everyday Affinity. Some dots. I don't know if this is part of the installation. Speak. Maybe true. Yeah, this is a lot of quotes on the wall. I'll tell you what the bluebirds say. This is like poetry. Goodbye, Edward Hopper. Okay. Wall art, but I guess it's kind of neat because it's very textured. You can get in and see the texture, and it's just wall after wall of like cables and ropes, and that's this wall. This looks like he had layers of paper that he just peeled off certain sections of. So each wall has, I guess, a different thing he was trying to achieve. But yeah, art again is what you see in it. You know, what it inspires you, if it gives you inspiration, a perspective of the world. Not everyone's going to get every piece of art, but it's what it says to you. That's the ultimate thing about art. What does it speak to you? What does it inspire you? What does it make you think of? What does it remind you of? And that's the beauty of art. It's not supposed to always make sense, as long as it makes sense to you. Okay, something I just noticed, and it kind of in a way to me makes this more impressive. As I was walking around this big room, it's a big circular room where, you know, all of his different pieces are. There's no like big board or something that it's taped to. This is it. Like literally, I believe, I mean, I don't know much about the artist, but I believe he actually put this on the walls of this room. This is it. So when he's done with this exhibition, it just comes off the wall, and might not be able to preserve it because it's not like it's fixated to panels or anything. This is the art exhibit. And once he takes it down, it's probably never to be seen again, because I don't think he can preserve all of this. I mean, once he pulls this off the wall, it'll probably destroy it. So kudos to the artist. It makes this even more impressive that once this comes off the wall, pretty much all done. So inside the National Archives, there's a lot of exhibits and a lot of information. So it is definitely information, immersive. Is that it's a great walkthrough to see the history of rights and see how, you know, we started as a country for democracy and freedom, but we had to go through a lot of years and decades for everybody to have equal rights. And so it's a great kind of walk through history to see that, you know, America's not perfect, and we still aren't perfect. We still have, you know, we can always improve, but it does show that there was a long journey and road to get to where we are today. And it's good to reflect upon the past, because if you can't appreciate and know where you came from, you can't have an idea of where you're heading towards. So really cool exhibit here at the National Archives. Really good to walk through. Here is a special feature document, the North Atlantic Treaty. NATO. So in the National Archives, one of the most popular movies in the world is National Treasure with Nick Cage. So right there is the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights is over there. It's a great thing to come see, the document that pretty much establishes our country that's in here. Really awesome to see. So if you're ever in DC, this is one of the stops you got to make is the National Archive, and just take and view these wonderful documents that started it all. Of course, the National Archives would have to have a poster for National Treasure with Nick Cage. The Temple of Art History will appropriately be one of the most beautiful buildings in America, an expression of the American soul. 100% say National Archives. You definitely have to check it out. Here outside the National Academy of Sciences, we have a sculpture that not a lot of people know about because there's so many other major monuments, but you got to check out this Einstein sculpture, and it's pretty big, kid for scale. But you got the Einstein sculpture right here, and it's something else to see here along the National Mall. Here we are, Lincoln Memorial. On a save. People for scale. These big pillars. If you look there, you can see the Washington Monument. Pretty cool. So yeah, Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, forever memorialized. One of the Little details of the building is they have all the different states represented in the architecture. So one of the things about DC, other than, you know, wonderful museums and sculptures, etc., but it's also a place for memorials and remembrance of the past and history. And one of the most somber memorials is the Vietnam Memorial Wall, where on this super long wall is the names of those that were killed in the war. And it's just a reminder that freedom isn't free, and that a lot of people gave their lives to try to make the world a little bit of a better place through war. Unfortunately, there's times where war is the only option. So no matter what side you are on history, we still have to remember those that gave their lives, not because of whether you agree with the ideals or the purposes of the war, but the fact that they were willing to give their lives for those purposes. But yeah, this is a Vietnam War memorial, and I don't want things to see when you're in DC. Next, I'm at the Korean War Veterans Memorial Site. What's neat is they have these little solar panels that powers the audio.
Welcome to the Korean War Veterans Memorial. This program is an audio description of the
So I like the fact that they're using solar technology to keep it going. Wow, astounding numbers of missing and captured and wounded in the Korean War. Again, another memorial that lets us know and appreciate the life that we get to live at the expense of these lives lost. And then the wall, the memorial wall runs all along. So here we are, the Martin Luther King Memorial. Then you have, across the water, you have the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. So here at Walk and Row Restaurant, Walk and Row Karaoke, this is where supposedly John Wilkes Booth planned the assassination. Cool things that there, they have several pieces. Claude Monet, Japanese footbridge. This is Claude Monet again. The Artist's Garden. There's a real nice one here. Woman with a parasol. And then they have another artist, Pizarro. So yeah, wonderful to see all of this art. Some great bronze pieces here. Animal sculptor. Nice. So it's just wonderful that this is, you know, free. Everything to see here. There's no ticket. Don't have to do a timed entry. You just show up. So, this is a Van Gogh. Another Van Gogh called Green Wheat Fields. There's just so much to see that you would need half a day to really take in the National Art Gallery. There's just a tremendous amount of pieces in this museum. There's really only one other art gallery I'd put up against this one. It's one in New York and one in London, but this one's in the top 5 easily. Sculptures. So many pieces. It's very well done collection here. All right, Rembrandt. We're in the 17th century Dutch art. Rembrandt's self-portrait. And then this is a portrait of Saskia, which was his wife. He was very fond of Saskia. But yeah, come to the Dutch area of the art gallery. You can see all the several portraits for Rembrandt. Just the amount of work. You know, art's just one of those things that not everybody gets it, but for those that do, it's very rewarding.
You can see the cracks coming up to the back of the rocks.
So most art people are very familiar with Francesco de Goya. So they have some pieces of his here. There's a Maria Teresa, and looks like a dog that needs a haircut. Another Goya, another dog, looks like he's got bells on him. Another Goya. This one I've seen somewhere before, but another Goya here. I think there's a couple more pieces here. That's another Goya. There's a portrait that represents the last of the buffalo. It's a huge portrait, so here, my hand in half for size, but it's a gargantuan portrait here. You see the carcasses of the buffalo, but the plains and the detail in the mouth. Let's zoom in a bit. Look at that, it's astounding artwork. A little bit of the artist. Okay, now checking out the Thomas Cole. So Thomas Cole, kind of from what I've understood, he likes to do a theme of life. And so from what I was explaining before is he thinks time is like a stream, and that our lives are a boat going down that stream. So what somebody told me long ago in London was that you read the first paragraph, then you take a look at the portrait. Then you take and read the second paragraph and look at the portrait one more time before you move on to the next portrait, which is the next part of life, youth. So you would read the first paragraph, take a long gaze and take in the artwork, read the second paragraph, and take your second long gaze upon the artwork, and then move on to the next piece. And so once again, you would start with the first paragraph. Then you would take in the artwork. Then read the second paragraph. And take your final gaze upon the artwork. Finally, reaching old age, you would read the first paragraph. Gaze upon the art. And read the second paragraph, and gaze upon the art, and then take a time to reflect on all the pieces you just saw. Talk about being in Washington, D.C. and having an iconic piece is George Washington by American artist Gilbert Stuart. That's probably very recognizable because every time we talk about George Washington, we usually have a depiction that's very close to that, if not that. But there's a room of Gilbert Stuart's. again, it's almost impossible to see everything if you're in a hurry or only have about an hour, but there's some great work here. Person for scale. But yeah, look at that. That's impressive. So that was my quick tour of the National Gallery of Art. Didn't get to see everything. I think an hour and a half, 2 hours minimum you need. I had less than an hour, unfortunately, due to time and schedule, but phenomenal. Easily in the top 5 in the world. New York, London probably just slightly outdoes it, but I don't know about it if they outdo their Rembrandt collection. It was 2 rooms of Rembrandts, so I think that's the most Rembrandt I've seen by far. But great collection. Lots of interesting stuff to see in here. You got to check it out. It's free. Just like about 90-something% of museums around here, around the National Mall, is free. There's a few that you do need to check their websites because they do timed entry. There's only a couple, but the majority of the rest don't. You just show up and go through a quick security check and you're in. But wonderful collection. So. Well-preserved exhibits. A leatherback turtle. Huge. And sea turtles. I mean, they got so much here on the second floor, so they tell you if you interact with the information desk, because they'll tell you where you should start, where you should go. And the tip they gave was start with the second floor, because the second floor exhibits are temporary, so you might not see those again. The first floor exhibits, they'll be there forever, so you'll always be able to see the first floor. So if you ever come here, hit the second floor first to see all you can of the second floor, and then go to the first floor. So it's a good tip. So we have ancient Egypt. I was just in Cairo a few months ago, but yeah, we have some Egyptian artifacts here. Pretty cool. It's in the afterlife. So it's kind of cool to go from Egypt, from Cairo itself, from their national museum, to come in over here to see mummies here in DC. Pretty cool. Another great thing is that there's so much information here. Great dioramas, great presentation, so many opportunities for people to learn, young and old. So yeah, hats off to this place, phenomenal. This big elephant that greets you in the lobby, and you got a couple floors, and when you enter, you're actually on the first floor, so ground floor is actually beneath this. But yeah, you want to go from this first floor to the second floor and check out all these exhibits because they are temporary. And then I think this is their aquatic area. You can see there's an escalator coming from below. But yeah, that is a lot to see, and it's definitely sensory and information overload, but bring the family. And oh, there's some shark teeth down there. But yeah, you can easily spend half a day here and still not see every single piece there is to see. So they have this exhibit here about recovering our night sky. And I was just in Abu Dhabi, and the amount of light pollution, you know, in the US is insane. It's getting to where it's harder and harder to get to areas where you see complete darkness in the night sky. And look at that. Oh, it's just horrible, the amount of light pollution. But the only 2 times in my life that I've seen the stars in the sky was when I was in northern Norway, and when I was just recently in Abu Dhabi. I wish that we had more experiences for people to really see the night sky and darkness than what they get to do currently. So one of the cool things I saw here caught my eye is you think about iron meteorites. 4.6 billion years ago, it formed in an asteroid. And it's here. This is a Tucson meteorite. Some information on it. Trying to get the glare to go away. But yeah, it's billions, over 4 billion years old right here. Something else. manatee. There is, oh, we have a rhino, a moose, and even a panda bear. Again, so many interactive components to here as well that makes, a very engaging learning experience. That's giraffe. Very nice. Gotta say, it's another great museum. Gotta come. You gotta come to all the museums eventually, but this is definitely a must stop by. Especially if you have young children, to get them excited about nature and science. This is it. This is a great way to do it. There's a counter that is counting down the current world population, and it is counting pretty fast. But yeah, 8.1 billion people on the planet. I once had someone said that I was 1 in a billion, or yeah, I was 1 in a billion. And when I told a friend of mine that, he goes, "Oh, so there's 6 other people or 7 other people now like you." I said, "Oh, I'm not so special." We're in the ocean area, the big well. But there's just so many exhibits, particularly about the pollution and how we have to do a better job of keeping our oceans clean. Yeah, we definitely have a long ways to go to take care of our planet. It's the only one we got. It's a pretty big totem pole. That's pretty big. Okie dokie, Kaliwa, and it is a Bib Gourmand restaurant on the Michelin website here in DC near the wharf. That out, some boats and stuff on the wall. Go check it out and try their most popular dish. So this is the Wagyu steak fried rice. It looks very delicious and scrumptious, and I got some Brussels sprouts next to it. Yeah, check that out. Here goes. Nice. The meat's a little too well cooked. Other than that, it's good. I love the little crispy onions. Nice.